What's up, everybody? Let's talk about how you can win a bunch of money on NFL Week 10. What's up, guys? Zach Bruner here from Flurry Sports, and I have 4 different parlays for NFL Week 10 that you can place, and they all look to be good money makers, I would say. Definitely let me know what you are betting in the comments below, and like and subscribe and comment if you are tailing any of these bets. I don't think we need to waste any time whatsoever. So we got 4 different parlays. One will be, maybe we can split it into 2, but the first one, let's just start it out hot, right? Let's start with a touchdown parlay. All of these are going to be on DraftKings Sportsbook, but similar odds, obviously, across the board. Let me know if you want me to do an NFL futures bets video as well. Obviously, people who have been following for a long time know NFL futures is kind of where I make the majority of my money. To be completely honest, I have a very high hit rate on futures. So if you would like a futures video, let me know. But right now, we're just talking about NFL Week 10. Let's start with a touchdown parlay. And if you are on DraftKings Sportsbook, they do have a 30% boost for any 3+ NFL touchdown scorer parlay. So that's exactly what we are doing. And we have good odds on this parlay. Obviously, I like any of these players individually. So if you are just wanting to bet individual, go ahead and do that. If you think I have 5 players, I believe in this, we'll scroll and see if there's anything else that pops out to us. But if there's one player that you really don't think so, you're like, I like the other 4, I don't like the 5. It doesn't matter. You can still use this 3+ leg parlay boost on that, and the odds will still be very good. We're not going long shots with any of these, but I do like the odds we get when we parlay them together. First one, we're going to start over in London. We are starting our parlay day early with Bijan Robinson. He's had a couple bad games in a row. I do think he shows up in front of the international crowd, for 1. And 2, no DeForest Buckner on the Colts is a very, very, very big deal for their run defense. He's been the guy. I mean, he was the guy they brought in to stop Derrick Henry when Henry was still in the division. DeForest Buckner, he is a vet at this point. I think he's over 30 years old now. Still playing at a very, very high level. He was just put on IR, did not travel overseas with them. So big loss in that defense. I think Bijan Robinson gets back on track this week. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills here. I do like James Cook a ton against the Miami Dolphins. A Miami boy going back home. He continues to play the Dolphins pretty darn well. Last time he played in Miami, he scored 3 touchdowns. I believe he has scored 6 touchdowns in 7 games against the Dolphins. I believe that stat is correct. He plays them very well, and we also know the Dolphins' run defense and defense in general has been terrible this year. We've seen people run all over them. They just got made worse with the NFL trade deadline getting rid of Phillips, and they got injuries all over the place as well. I think the Bills win this game pretty easily, and I think Cook finds the end zone for at least 1. If you want to get spicy, go ahead and go 2+ for plus 280, but we'll go with an anytime touchdown for James Cook. To be completely honest, I don't hate anytime touchdown for A-Chain either, but we will go with just James Cook here. What else are we going to add to this parlay? Derrick Henry is always a good option, but he has been very weird this year. We will avoid that. What we're going to do is hit up Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle is playing at an extremely high level, and obviously the Panthers are giving him all the touches he can handle at this point as the true RB1 of this offense. We saw that last week against the Packers, and for whatever it's worth, I'm a Packer fan. I don't think their run defense is very good, but they're better than the Saints. I think this is going to be a relatively competitive game, to be honest, but I do think both teams will be able to move the ball. I think the Panthers will definitely be able to move the ball, and Rico Dowdle will fall into the end zone once again for another touchdown there. Nothing overly crazy with any of the 3 players we have chosen so far. We're not taking big swings. We're just making smart bets, and the next one in line is Quinshon Judkins. I like Quinshon Judkins as a football player quite a bit. I do like the Browns coming off of a bye. They're playing pretty good football, running the football at least at the moment. He was fully removed off the injury report, so that was, a concern coming into this week. A lot of people picked up Dylan Sampson fantasy just in case. Judkins, I believe, was removed from the injury report Thursday. So it wasn't even like a Friday thing. I think he was fully removed Thursday. So he's good to go. The Jets, however, are not good to go. The Jets obviously are tanking on the season. They're not a great run defense anyways, but they got rid of Quinnen Williams in the middle. They got rid of Sauce Gardner, who isn't, it doesn't change a ton for run defense, but it hurts their overall defense, which means the Browns will be able to sustain drives. And then they're also benching Quincy Williams. So two guys in the front seven, arguably, not even arguably, are the two best defenders overall, best run defender overall, all gone. So even though the run defense hasn't been great, it's made a lot worse. And I think Quinshon Judkins will take advantage of that. And last but not least, we're going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs. So Jahmyr Gibbs has, he had a bad week. He has been a little weird overall. He hasn't been outstanding, but he gets to play the Washington Commanders in this game, a Commanders defense that has hurt, an overall Commanders team that's very hurt. I think the Lions need a bounce back game. And if they are saying they need a bounce back game, they need a game for the offense to feel good about. I think that means Jahmyr Gibbs gets involved quite a bit. We heard Dan Campbell talk a lot about Jahmyr Gibbs this week, talking about how they need to get him back on track. He's used words like he's ascending in this offense. I think they want to feature him in this game. Regardless, they want to use him quite a bit, and to get him back into the end zone, I think would be a very big deal for them. Now, if I needed to remove one player from this touchdown parlay, it potentially could be Gibbs, but I do like all five of these guys. Bijan's obviously a risk just in case he continues to play bad, but overall, if you string these five together, you got 1,171 odds. And again, remember, we have that 30% parlay boost. That gets boosted to 1,523. Put a cool $25 on there. Okay, max wager of 10 for this promo. So bet 10, get $162. Not too shabby. If you don't have that promo, if you've already used that promo, take it off. Put a cool 25 on this baby. $25 to win 312. That's also very good. 1,100 odds is not too shabby. Again, if we wanted to remove Jahmyr Gibbs, that's still plus 650. I still feel very good about that. You can bet them all individually if you would like. It feels like these are the easiest three here. Plus 330 for that. I like that quite a bit. And you can still use the boost on that too. And that is plus 430. How great's that? $10 to win 53. So that is the first parlay. I like that quite a bit. Okay, guys, next up, we're going to target three different games. The first one's going to be that Buffalo-Miami game. Again, I like James Cook in this game, and I think there's just some easy bets to place. So let's just start very easy and say we're going to go, we're not going to do a Buffalo Bills money line, but what we will do is an alternate spread. Do not feel bad about teasing a spread ever, by the way. Don't feel bad about teasing or taking the minimum on any player prop ever. You don't need to be overly proud and take the straight up prop. You can tease it down for worse odds. You won't ever go broke taking a profit, and we're just making smart bets today. More often than not, you will hit those if you tease it down and just bet the over, because the sportsbook knows what they're doing with those lines, and we're going to make a lot more money doing that. So what we are going to do is bring it down to 3.5. I understand 2.5 would be the smarter line, but the odds jump quite a bit there, and I still feel pretty confident about that. We will put that James Cook anytime touchdown on there. I think Josh Allen is easy to get 150. Again, the odds here isn't crazy, but it does help us in the parlay a little bit. Receiving yards, Dalton Kincaid will catch at least one pass. He'll have one big breakout catch there. Waddle will do the same thing. Again, these are not big money makers, right? We're not going for a parlay with 2,000 odds, plus 2,000 odds. We're not doing that. We're just trying to make a parlay that's going to hit. I don't mind A-Chain. I don't mind James Cook. A-Chain's certainly easier than James Cook in terms of these receiving props, but we will ignore it right now. I will say this parlay that I'm about to make is the one I feel worst about of the four, but I do still feel pretty darn good about it. We want to add Malik Washington to that as well, and we might as well add Khalil Shakir. So easy peasy, nothing crazy with these. We're at plus 232. Let's go to rushing props. I do want, let's go 50 for James Cook and 40 for A-Chain. Bills haven't been able to stop the run very well. A-Chain's been pretty much the only good player on the Dolphins. So I like that a decent amount. I don't mind going over on the first half, James Cook rushing yards either, but we'll keep it there. Special teams, we could do a Prater field goal there. That's not terrible. I think this is probably it. Yeah, I don't mind this. So again, there's other little ones you can add, like a Josh Allen rushing. You could add a Josh Allen passing touchdown if you want. That feels fine if you want to go for that. Let's see where that is. Josh Allen passing touchdowns. It's blurred out, so can't do that, but whatever. I don't mind this, though, and for plus 310, these are all very easy. You could boost any of these yards here for better odds, but we're just going to play it safe and take a very easy win. And for $10, you can hit 41 on that. For 25, you can put 102 on that. So, I mean, easy peasy. We're not going crazy. This is a very easy single game parlay for the Bills and Dolphins, and I like it quite a bit. Let's just see where the odds switch to if we want to go extremely safe and say Bills money line, because Bills aren't going to lose this game. That's still plus 266. I like that. If we take the James Cook touchdown away, plus 160. All of these are very easy. This is free money right here. Go ahead and lock those in. Now, let's go with the other non-primetime game that we are going to play. And this is one that's getting a lot of attention because of weather. And that is the Giants and the Bears. Now, there's supposedly some precipitation going through the Midwest right now. Not supposedly, I'm in Wisconsin. So it sounds like there's going to be some snow potentially for Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. That could be interesting. For this game in particular, it sounds like all the precipitation is going to be pre-game, maybe at the very, very beginning of the game, but it's not expected to impact anything. There is going to be some sustained winds throughout, but nothing overly crazy. And if you need any sign, like people in the fantasy community are really like trashing these players. Like, okay, there's a lot of wind, can't take the kicker, can't do the passing game. I hard disagree based on just the numbers of what the weather's supposed to be. And then if you want to look at the betting odds, look at this. The over-under is 47.5. So I think full ignore, maybe slight downgrade to some people, but anyone overly like scared in trying to stay away from this game, I think is crazy. So we will not do that. In fact, I might go to start this parlay off. I'm not going to do the spread because I do think either team could easily win this game. I am going to go over 37.5 for this total. So we, brought it down 10 points and pick the over. We're not going to do any touchdown scores. There's a couple guys here I don't mind, but we're not going to do that. Passing, again, we're not going to do that. We're going to fully avoid that. Colston Loveland's getting used a little bit more as Cole Kmet continues to get banged up. We'll take him going 15 yards. I don't think he's going to have the Cincinnati Bengals defense avoiding tackling him, right? That's a one-time-a-year thing, and luckily for him, but he will continue to be used. 15 yards is easy, and if you are a person who's scared of the wind, he's going to catch something underneath and be fine. DJ Moore, we're going to go 25-plus yards. DJ Moore continues to catch like between 3 and 5 passes every single game. If he catches 3, he's going to hit the over on that. Maybe we'll bring it down to 15 at some point, but 25 feels good. Slayton 15 feels good, but we'll still avoid it. Olamide Zaccheaus is that slot guy for the Bears. It's not Luther Burden. It's Olamide Zaccheaus. He continues to be used, and 15-plus yards feels good there. Rome Odunze got goose-egged last week. I've already placed the bet. I love going first drive catch for Rome Odunze. I could see very first play catch for Rome Odunze. So do I think he's going to have 100 yards? I don't know, but I do know the Bears want to get him involved right away. And for this, we'll go 25. Again, we're just playing it safe. We already see these odds piling up here. 40 feels pretty safe as well, but we'll go with 25. Theo Johnson's interesting. I do like Theo Johnson 15. We'll see if we need to sprinkle it in at the end. Wandale, though, we'll go 25 for Wandale. First quarter. Yeah, I don't hate this. Let's go first quarter for Roma Dunze, 5+. I think he's got that. Some of our picks have been replaced. So the Roma Dunze line from before was replaced with Roma Dunze 5+ first quarter, which feels perfectly fine to me. Out of curiosity, what's his first half? We could go 10 for the first half or 475 if we wanted to, but again, I like what we're doing here. I think that's perfectly fine. Wrong one. DJ Moore receptions. Again, we could do 3+ there. That's safe. Wandale's probably safe for 4. Receiving yards. Why am I not seeing receptions for him? Oh, right there. Yeah, that's probably safe. Let's avoid it for right now, though. We're not going crazy here. Now, Giants run defense isn't very good. Bears run defense is certainly not good whatsoever. Devin Singletary will continue to be used. It was about 50-50 between Singletary and Tracy in the first half last week. Tracy got a little bit banged up, and Singletary took over in the fourth quarter. I do imagine we'll see that 50-50 again, and I think that's enough for him to get 15 rushing yards. I think Dart gets probably at least 35, but we'll go 15. And then Tracy, give me 15 for him as well. I think they all get 15. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Special teams. Look at this. If anyone's complaining about the wind and saying it's going to impact, like they're saying Santos is guaranteed a field goal. So we'll still avoid this, but I don't mind this. And I think we're going to lock this in. Plus 650 for a parlay. And we talked about multiple other things we could put in there. We talked about other things we could tease up. But for this, it's a 9-pick, same game parlay for the Giants Bears, over 37.5 points, 15+ yards for Loveland, 15+ for Zacchaeus, 25+ for Moore and Wandale Robinson, 5+ receiving yards for Roma Dunze in the first quarter, 15+ rushing yards for Singletary, Dart, and Tracy. That's $10 to win $75. I absolutely love that. This is one that seems very, very easy. If you want to get risky, I mean, $50 for 375 is not bad whatsoever. Let's get into the very final one, and it's going to be the very final game. And what I want to do here is just tell you about how you can maximize what you are betting. I am a Packer fan. I am going to release a video tomorrow looking at the Packers run defense. If you joined us live for Lombardi Sweep, you already saw it. It'll just be a clip from that video. But by the way, the Packers aligned in terms of their run defense, in terms of their base defense against the Panthers last week. It was unbelievably poor, and it just created natural running lanes. And if they line up the exact same way against the Eagles this game, it's game over. So I do think they potentially do. So I'm not an overly big believer in the Packers in this game. The Packers are still favorites at home. I think the Eagles win. So it would be very easy for me to say, okay, cool. I'm going to bet the Eagles to win. I'm going to double my money at plus 102. That's good to go. However, let's just think about this. If the Eagles are going to quote unquote upset the Packers, what needs to happen? If the Eagles win this game, we know a couple things are going to happen, right? If the Eagles win this game, they're going to be able to run the football. So we might as well add Saquon Barkley rushing yards to this. I'm going to say let's add 70+. And I do like he could get a 100-yard game. If we did that, if we just did Saquon Barkley 100 yards and the Eagles win, plus 380. We'll even play it safer than that. It does not matter. We'll go plus 70+ yards. So that just took our plus 102 Eagles bet to plus 170. You're just adding on a little more cheddar in cheese land here in Wisconsin. That's exactly how you do it. This is where it gets risky. Does Saquon Barkley score a touchdown? I think yes. You noticed I didn't add him onto my touchdown parlay. There could be a tush push situation. You never know. But I'm telling you, man, Eagles win, Saquon 70 plus rushing yards, Saquon scoring a touchdown plus 325. This is a very, very good way to bet this game, and I like this quite a bit. If you wanted to do that and you wanted to bring it back and say, I want to bet the other side of the game as well, what needs to happen for the Packers to win this game? So we'll go Packers minus 122 money line. Not too shabby. I do think Josh Jacobs needs to score, and he has been. So that's not even going out on a limb, right? But if the Packers win, I do think Josh Jacobs needs to score. I think Jordan Love needs to have at least a decent game. Let's say 200 passing yards, nothing crazy. I think he needs to pass for at least one touchdown. And receiving wise, I think Christian Watson will at least need to have 25. I think 50 is probably fair if the Packers win, but let's just say 25. And Luke Musgrave. I love Luke Musgrave, and I think he does get 25 receiving yards in this game for whatever it's worth. But if we're saying if the Packers have to win this game, these things need to happen. Luke Musgrave doesn't necessarily need to have a massive game. Romeo Doubs needs to have at least 25 yards, so we'll add that. And I don't necessarily hate Jalen Hurts throwing an interception. I don't necessarily hate adding that on. So if we wanted to bet the Packers and bet the Eagles, I just gave you two parlays, and obviously one's not going to hit, but if one of them hits, then you profit pretty big. But this is plus 1,100 in favor of the Packers. If we just take off the interceptions, this is plus 460. If the Packers win this game, this feels pretty safe. Again, take off the Josh Jacobs touchdown. Still plus 276, not too shabby. $25 to win 94. Easy peasy. Let me know if you are going to tail any of these bets, and let me know if there's any other specific videos you want to see. If you think one of those touchdown parlays, who's the person who's going to ruin that touchdown parlay for me? Let me know. And if you have a touchdown parlay of your own, let me know that in the comments as well. If you put together a crazy lineup here, let's do this. If you post your bets in the comments below before the game, you can do it after the game too and try to seem cool. And I'll still applaud you for that. But if you want to go on a limb and put your money where your mouth is, not real money, obviously, but comment below what you are betting. And if you hit big, I'll do another one of these videos next week, and I will feature the ones who hit. I would absolutely love to do that. And remember, every single day in November, there's a new video here on the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you do know when I do post these videos, usually in the morning, I would say. So definitely come back and check out tomorrow morning for our next video. It'll for sure be in the morning because it'll be before the main slate of football games. Check out flurrysports.org for my fantasy rankings and other fantasy football stuff as well. And I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Fuck yeah.